Welcome to Dead Wax.
We have with us the most recorded drummer of all time, J.R. Robinson. We're so excited to have you, man. We have all been dancing to you for years, and I'm so excited to talk about all this stuff we have with us because Jack and I are, musical. I'd say musical, but do we know the intricacies of the drums? No, let's be honest. I mean,
I'll be honest.
I'm not a drummer. Are you a drummer?
I'm not a drummer.
Okay, so in order to fully appreciate the magnitude of this giant that we have with us, we have brought to help us host, to co-host, if you will, one of our favorite drummers, producers, musicians. You play a lot of other shit. Kane Ritchotte. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. I'm so excited. This is fun.
By the way, we're not exaggerating when we say JR is the most recorded drummer of all time. Right?
Yes.
That is the actual record you hold.
Well, and then hopefully that's not because I've screwed up so many takes.
We're about to find out. Okay, JR, I'm just going to rattle off. Jack, tell us about JR.
I'm going to do my intro for JR. My ask for you all is I would like some James Brown band energy.
All right.
As I'm reading JR's
Very
intro because it merits.
Would you like
that
a
energy.
groove?
Let's
very
get a
quiet.
groove.
Yeah.
Right,
Groove to kick us off. Here we got J.R. Robinson, drummer and session musician. Robinson's drum and prowess has defined generations of his music with his iconic contributions spanning pop, R&B, jazz. Come on! His legendary drum fill in Michael Jackson's Rock With You.
Let's go!
And the unforgettable intro to Steve Winwood's #1 hit, Higher Love, are not just musical moments, but cultural touchstones that have shaped the soundtrack of multiple generations. Robinson's collaborative roster reads like a who's who of musical royalty. He's worked alongside the legends including Quincy Jones, Ray Charles, Michael Jackson, Rufus and Chaka Khan, Lady Gaga, Peter Frampton, George Benson, Stevie Wonder, Elton John, and many more. Welcome to the show, J.R.
Beautiful. That was.
I think that was our best intro ever.
That was exciting.
Oh my God.
Very nice.
Great feel. Great feel.
We're going to start off here talking about one of the most iconic tracks, drum performances of all time, Ain't Nobody by Rufus and Chaka.
What was I gonna do? I let myself go. And now we fly through the stars. I hope this night will last forever.
That's one of those songs
my
that I don't know how you justify when to start fading out.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
I wonder
Yeah,
how much
that's
longer it goes.
Yeah, how much longer do you think it was going?
Oh, probably another 30, 50
Really?
seconds. But it had to do with her ad-libs.
Sure, of course.
Legend
Was
has
there
it,
an
they're still
ending
playing.
on the song?
No.
Okay.
No.
You knew you'd fade it out.
Yes. The only way you could do it is fade it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Live, when we would do it live, we put this kind of a Hendrix big rock, and I'd just go into double bass drums, and it's big rock ending. That way we could, ain't nobody, so we can end it that way.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
This was the perfect record.
Were the toms an overdub?
Overdubbed.
Okay. All the toms?
I'm not pumping this,
No.
but in here,
Just
by
not
one's for
dancing
you and
aisle
you. I didn't
cover.
bring enough for everybody. But in there, and we talk about, or I talk about how this is broken down. But Hawk wrote this.
Yeah.
And Hawk, a lot of people don't know, was one of the principal writers for Chicago somewhere around in the bad years.
The bad years.
Yeah, 6 to 10.
Yeah.
But he had written some really cool shit, including Street Player at the end. He had written this song, and I went over to his house, and he lived over off of Coldwater, and he'd done it on a MCI 24 track. And he had all the stuff, the Lynn drum machine, everything was incredibly robotic. He played the guitar part, he sang the demo, and he brought it to Quincy. And Quincy wanted it to steal it from Michael.
Ooh.
And so we talk about that in the book, but after negotiation and the correct thing about the reuniting of Rufus and Chaka Khan, because we had split up for a while, this was the perfect capitulation, or the cherry on top was to release Ain't Nobody with us, because if Michael had done it, it wouldn't have been as hip or sultry or rocking or nasty.
Yeah.
I can imagine it though. I can see
Yeah,
how
I can
that,
see
that would
that
be
too.
Quincy's thought to that. It
And
could
you
work.
would have played on it either way.
Right, I would have played on either way.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of like, when I do Rock With You, which I'm going to, if Kenny G were to do it, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Swung.
Anyway, but it wouldn't have been as hip as when we did it. And thank God we did it, because I got a Grammy for it. So
Can you play this groove?
yes, and all right, and so setting this up, and Russ Totemo is our producer.
Okay.
So I'd worked with Russ just all sorts of stuff with Clapton and Benson and Steve Winwood, but we were going through a thing in the '80s where we weren't cutting hi-hat in real time.
Yeah, I was going to ask about this. Maybe before you start playing, you can
Okay.
answer a few questions.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I want to know about how the drum, all the drum and percussion layers were kind of dealt with, and in what degree they were kind of separated. And also, my first question is.
Wait a minute, that's your second. All right, go ahead.
Okay, no, well, I guess
Wait, were
that's
you
the
going to ask
first
about the
question.
snare sound?
But I'm going to tack this on to the first
Got it.
question. And yes,
Yes.
are any of the acoustic drums triggering?
Wait,
There was no triggers in those days.
But
there weren't.
couldn't you trigger a Lin with microphones?
God forbid.
Wait, it sounds like
Maybe I'm
gated
wrong.
white noise to me under the snare. Is from a production standpoint. That's why
I
it come
can
after.
tell you how we did that.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
But so Hawk's original loop was an LM1.
Right. Okay.
So what I did was I went in and cloned it. Then I put my own heart and soul into it. So thusly, it's not a machine feel.
Not at all.
So I also in those days was experimenting with Forat.
What's that?
Forat were these two brothers, these Iranian brothers, that came up with a triggering machine that you could put samples into, and it would trigger faster than anything that was ever out there at that time. And it was just, first of all, I was anti-Lin,
Okay. Fair.
and I still am to this day.
Why?
I became an Oberheim artist.
Okay. So you were
I-
anti-drum machine. You were
No,
anti-Lin.
I was anti-Lin because there are stories and rumors that Roger Lynn ripped certain A drummers off to put samples in that LM1.
I'm sure.
And we know that. How did he get the sounds?
Right.
When Rufus was rehearsing at Danny Serafin's house, the drummer for Chicago, in 1978, because Hawk and Danny and I, Danny got me with Slingerland, by the way, and now we're back. But we're rehearsing, and all of a sudden there's a knock on the door, and we go out, and a maid goes, "There's a Roger Lynn here to see you guys." So Roger, go bring him in. So he comes into the studio with one of those little shitty cassette players, with a cable out, going to a compact 64. And he goes, "All right, you guys play D." Boom. Play S. Bop.
Yeah.
And Danny and I just looked at each other and I go, "Oh, shit. This is in 78. So my point is that I've always used a tool belt and mastered every possible angle of things that would help us create records.
Yeah.
Hence when we got finally into the bad record
Right.
and things like that. But I didn't ever look at a drum machine as being an intimidator. I mastered it.
Wise.
So, but I was always anti-Roger Lynn at that point. So,
Yeah.
to this song, I used a 9-inch Yamaha custom snare drum.
I love it.
Sorry,
Okay.
can we just what you just said is
I
so
know.
powerful.
It is, and relevant.
I just want to hang on that for a second, because there's something really beautiful about that mentality that is really scary too, and scares a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Scared a lot of drummers out of L.A.
But the interface of artists and technology is always terrifying. Whatever the moment in history, and now of course it's all AI stuff, right? But I guess what strikes me about what you just said is that you refused to be scared and instead leveraged it to help express yourself and to be creative and to make records. And that's just such a unique. It's such a unique standpoint in the music community, I find. And I'm just curious why. What gives you that mentality?
I attribute that to being a master framer. So I have this unbelievable leather tool belt around my waist with jingly, jangly things and hammers and friggin' wrenches and whatever else and just things I need to build a house.
Right.
So that is in that tool belt.
Yeah.
And if somehow I feel that this isn't right for the song or some particular part of this. And I won't limit it to just drums. I'm a keyboard player, so I'll do it through keyboards, or I'll think a guitar or a bass player, or I'll think of the singer. If something isn't right, what can we do to make that song better for the song? So that's the key. We're not looking at it for technology. We're looking at it as what's best for the song.
To tack on to that question, I think because right now a lot of people are scared, a lot of artists in a bunch of different mediums are scared of the way the advancements in AI and the fear that this is not the first time this has happened, but the fear that they're going to be replaced by technology. So when that was happening and when drum machines were kind of new on the scene, how long did it take you, and if you can remember, what kind of thought process kind of gave you the confidence that, no, this is an asset, and I'm going to figure out a way to make this an asset and serve me instead of
it was immediate.
Immediate.
And this starts when I was a little boy in Iowa. I started so early, and I had one of those little teeny tape recorders with little small tape, and it was about that big. And I remember recording stuff around whatever, even probably before I was playing drums, and then that just growing into all the stuff I had through grade school, junior high, and high school, and then getting to Berkeley, and then becoming the recording drummer on a Scully 8-track machine. So looking at the assets that you're dealt with, when I moved to Calabasas, when I could finally get a house, I was basically under slave wages under Rufus, and I finally got a house, and I bought a Porta-Studio.
Yeah.
Remember them?
Great machines. Still use them.
They're
awesome.
Unbelievable. You realize, okay, you got 10 tracks and they're compressed as hell.
Yeah.
But look at all the shit I just did.
That's right.
So then that led into, 24 tracks. But
so do you think people should be afraid of the advancements in AI right now, musically?
I'll tell you what. Let's look at drummers.
Yeah.
If you're looking at what the LM1 accomplished in 1981, or 2, whenever the hell it came out, yes. But if you're looking at doing something, there's no fucking way AI can do that.
I agree.
However, let's look at another instrument.
Sure.
Let's look at your instrument. I don't see any way AI can replicate a guitar player. And I would venture to challenge these nerds let's start with George Benson. Just go after George Benson. You figure out how to play like George Benson, then we can get Eddie and all the other cats later.
Sure.
To me, George Benson was the greatest guitar player of all time.
Yeah.
I don't care what. I mean, you plug him into a stack of 300 Marshalls and you'd freaking be dead laying on the ground.
The only thing I would add is I kind of feel about a lot of the tools now the way you felt about the Lin, which is like, but you're ripping people off. You're not paying people for using their shit.
Give me an example of what you're saying.
I mean, ingesting people's art without their permission and without paying them, with no opt-out framework, and then letting people output things that sound exactly like them without compensating the artist. I don't see a future where humanity allows that to happen. I'm not saying it'll be as good. I just think I'm a little bit on my high horse right now, but like that's not cool. That needs to be fixed. That's like what you were talking about.
Boy,
with
it's
the
going to be
LM1.
hard, especially when Mo Austin is dead. To me, the greatest owner of a record label was Warner Brothers, and the freedom that we had to create, and all that stuff's gone. And so and how Spotify screwed everybody, and there are no record labels, and even by McCartney allowing that Beatles song to come out with AI, would you have allowed that?
Now that
he's opened the door.
So here's the thing. I mean, I remember being, and I still am, really excited about the tools. I hear them, I play with them, I use like machine learning stuff on different tracks in my sessions now. I'm like all excited about it. But now that I know what I know about how it works underneath, it does feel bad to use those tools, even though I think they're very powerful tools. I think there will be a future where we get to use the tools and people get appropriately compensated for them.
Right.
I'm hoping that that's what happens because the tools themselves are cool. It's just the way we got there is not.
Yeah. That's what will have to happen.
I hope so.
It'll have to become police.
Who's going to police it?
Well, it's only until people are kind of informed enough and rebel against this stuff and insist on it being policed. And I don't know if really people are able to do that anymore. I don't know. We'll find out.
Give me your favorite AI plugin or program.
There's a synthesizer called Synplant.
Okay.
That is an FM synthesizer.
Yep.
But you can drop a sample in, and then it doesn't replicate the sample. It turns the FM knobs automatically to make it sound as close to the sample as possible.
Jeez.
So you can drop in a sample of a Wurlitzer or a piano playing a C, and then it'll build an FM synthesizer that sounds like that. And then you can play all these different notes, and it's beautiful. You can tweak them. It's such an inspiring synth. That's a very narrow use of AI.
Right, it's just a sound. But if we're talking about a piece of art that you've just released.
Oh, no, I don't. I mean,
but we don't even have police control over that yet.
No.
Right.
And that's it's not at the point yet where I think you can listen to a whole thing that sounds good and have yeah. Anyway, can we go back to the song? We took a tangent.
We were talking about the drum layers.
Yes.
Oh, that.
You were talking about the gear that you used for this particular song.
Yes.
Okay.
But also, I want to come back to Kane's question about broad view drum layers involved. That was your question, right?
Yeah. Right. So for Ain't Nobody, there was a trend which we helped start with Bruce Sweeney, the engineer for Quincy, when we started doing we started doing The Dude on A&M, and to me, which is one of the most relevant records of all time. Of all time is Quincy Jones' The Dude, because all the aspects of what's on there. I mean, Lukather was our guitar player. It was just the aspects of what was going down. Bruce Sweeney and I walk in, and this is just about what you're saying. I walk in one day, and every day they're trying some new shit, and there's a 57, but it's here. And I walk in, and there's an Atlas mic stand right here, and straight up, and on it was a piece of lead about 9 inches by 1.5 inches, covered in a packing blanket, shimmied onto the top, and it was hanging out between the snare drum and the hi-hat mic. So it would block it. And I come in, I go, wow, that's really cool. Until I realized I couldn't play because I would go, and I go, and Bruce is like my surrogate father, and Bruce is, studied with Bill Putnam. If you guys go into your history of Chicago engineering, Dinah Washington, blah, blah, blah. Count Basie. I go, Bruce, I have to raise my arm over to play this groove. He goes, deal with it.
Yeah.
So it's,
yes,
I'm playing, whatever it worked, whatever it took. So that actually worked. It blocked out the hi-hat leakage into the snare drum. Mm-hmm. So then when we got it, instead of doing that, I said, let's just don't even play the hi-hat.
Right.
Which, guys like Jerry Marotta always rebelled against hi-hat playing. Mm-hmm. And
Stevie, too, right? Would usually do the hi-hat separately?
That was his thing, yeah. But, except for,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, so when we got to, songs like Ain't Nobody, I decided to, okay, take all this shit out. I'm hearing Hawk's synth bass. And it was just basically me and Hawk on that track as far as musicians. I mean, we had Tony a little bit of guitar, and Paulinho goes once on a timbale.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's important.
It's good, though.
Yeah, it was the right part.
Timbale, yeah.
So I just looked at it, I go, all right. It just comes in, which is, I think a Jupiter 8.
Kind of a misleading downbeat at the beginning of the
I don't know if
song,
it's
too.
15, 16, or whatever the hell it is.
We love a misleading downbeat.
But that took forever to sync back to 1 later.
Right.
And I couldn't record until it got synced back to 1.
Right.
So that took an hour or so. So I'm sitting there, dicking around. So I decided, because I really love setups, as you well know. Mm-hmm. With Higher Love and Rock With You and all this stuff. So I go, okay, I'm hearing it, and I go, mute that sequencer. I don't want to hear that shit. It's going to throw me off.
Right.
So I just basically had it clicks, and I started, let's come up with an intro. And they go, and then when you hit that, again, you can drive an 18-wheeler through that hole.
Yeah.
Right.
And what it is like it's almost like playing a trumpet and then and releasing. So I did that, and I just did. I'd wrapped a big blanket around my knee and played eighth notes, kind of broken. So I went to. I can't play your pedal. Forever.
That's the basic track. That's the basic layer.
Forever.
Can we listen to that fill going into that verse?
Yes.
Here we go.
And no ghost notes.
Yeah, play the fill one more time going into it. So
That's that Yamaha 9-inch.
That's I feel like, am I wrong in saying that one of the signatures of your playing is these beautifully composed setups? Like you just said, you love a setup. Intro fills.
Yeah.
Can we talk about like where that came from?
Yeah,
Or?
it came from a lot of stuff, and it's in the book. But I mean, I'll detail it now. Is when as a little boy, and my mother Helen sitting me down and playing me Gene Krupa and all these big bands when I was a little kid, and she'd say, "That's Buddy Rich, that's Gene Krupa," but I'd hear these fills setting it up the song. So when I finally got to study with Ed Soph when I was 16, he would go through this whole thing about setups. And the most, you guys probably don't remember, I mean you do, but the Johnny Carson show.
Of course.
With Ed Shaughnessy. Now it's nothing similar at all. But Ed would go, it would be,
Yeah.
it would be literally it's a quarter note, but it's a dotted quarter.
Yeah.
And it was like,
That's all the warning he would give is, yeah.
that was it.
Yeah,
that's
and
great.
all these cats, I don't know what the hell they were doing, but if you didn't come in there,
Yeah.
there was a setup. So I started getting into setups.
So this was a thing you studied as a kid after being made aware of it by your teacher.
It's not like as drummers we're looking for attention because we'll never get it. No. The lead singer's in the front, and he's going to fail anyway.
Right.
Ooh.
Okay, so this fill and then this drum track, which is just kick and snare, and then you layer on hat afterwards.
Well, yes, I did.
Wait, before we leave that moment, are you saying that the coming up with these setups was sort of like your way of putting your stamp on things?
Absolutely. Because through all these different recordings, even in the beginning stages with Quincy, I mean, I was already a recording drummer way before that. But, when I got into the A-League and when I moved to L.A., Quincy would look at me and he goes, JR, you're dancing too much. In other words, music that you guys may be listening to, there's a lot of activity from drummers.
A lot of syncopation.
Well, it's not syncopation. I think that's part of the growth of whatever the music is. But to me, drummers are playing too much shit.
Sure, fair.
And they
That's
always
what he
will.
meant by you're dancing too much?
Yeah.
You're playing
You're playing too much shit.
busy.
Just like stick to the part, basically.
And a real common story is we're at the Superdome with the Quincy Jones Band in 1982, and it's sold out. And I'm like, it's going to be back in New Orleans again, blah, blah. Quincy grabs me and he goes, JR, man, see those people up there? And I thought he was going to say, there's somebody that knows me. He goes, they don't give a goddamn what you're playing on your hi-hat. And he turned around and walked away, and I'm going, oh.
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
that's it.
he
Wait,
didn't
is
want
Right.
he didn't want any of this.
Right.
Is that how Quincy would talk to you? Is that like he said
yeah.
like those types of things?
Yeah.
That kind of
You're
feedback.
going to have to look at the book.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's one in particular, but there's a woman in the room.
No, that's a good.
And then we got the track right after he said this phrase. But that's right. It's all good. So to answer your question,
So yeah, because I'm always curious how these your intro fills are like such integral compositional
Yeah, right.
parts of all these tracks. Like, You play that fill, everybody fucking knows it's Rock With You.
Did you ever feel like you were owed? This is a hot question, but owed a compensation for
Fuck
arrangement?
yeah.
And shit? And was that contentious?
And,
or did you get your way?
Daft Punk also.
Right.
Daft Punk
Right.
definitely. But no,
Right, because you played on Random Access Memories.
I played on 7 songs on that album.
Yeah, so how did-
including the Japanese song. But getting back, double scale for a recording musician is good.
Sure.
And, we get a little pension. If it gets used in something, we get new use or motion picture use. So it's an okay career.
Those rates have gone down, though.
Well, I
Okay,
don't.
is right.
I'm not even going to go there. Sure. But what were we saying?
We were talking
Do
about
you ever feel like
publishing.
you're owed composition?
I actually went after somebody who sampled that and got $500 or
Like
something
a one-time
through the
thing.
union. But it's funny. Once if you hear that, you know what song it is.
Yeah.
You don't know.
As iconic as Andy Summers, intro riff. Which he also didn't get.
No,
credit
he got
for.
ripped off also.
Yeah.
But we can go. I can play the higher.
Was that your idea, or did
It
Quincy?
was my idea.
So they just counted off the song and you played it. There was no discussion of
again in the book, and because I'll always these are very crucial stories. Rod had a demo. Rod
Yeah.
Temperton, great Rod Temperton, and he had some sort of weird thing like that. So I basically, after take 3, we weren't getting it. And
Yeah.
I see Quincy get up and stands here, and Rod Temperton's standing here smoking his red Marlboros, and Quincy just looked at me and he goes, JR, can you come up with a fill that the whole world will forever identify with this song?
He actually said that.
Right, literally standing here. And
Wow.
I look at him, I go, yeah.
Oh my God.
I didn't know what the hell I was going to play. And I could see these guys going like this.
Yeah.
And so, all right, they go back in, Rod smoking his red Marlboros, God bless him, and U2Q, and they're sitting there, and I go, okay, here we go, take 4. And I hear click, click. And from then on, even Bobby's bass part was magical. Hawk's shit was perfect. David was funky. It's like all those first 3 takes were leading into that moment for take 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we knew we had cut a #1 record.
And take 4 was the take that you ended up
Yeah.
using. Can we listen to that actual? Here's the fill.
Oh my God. Well, I want to tell a quick story. I was touring with somebody and we were playing a cover in the show of Rock With You.
Yeah.
And the artist, the drummer came. I had sort of rehearsed the band, and then the artist comes to the stage, and it was a new drummer that had been doing this tour with us, and the artist says, "Okay, start off," and the drummer fucked up that fill,
Oh no.
and the next day he got fired.
Oh,
Yeah.
That fill.
Agree or disagree, JR?
I don't want him coming after me,
He
but
won't.
I agree.
It's intuitively brilliant, not to blow smoke, but
No.
and because the kick phrase sets up this anticipation, and
Yeah.
then people are playing on the downbeat, but don't. It's all downbeat oriented, but with the feeling of it's that accented,
Yeah.
ba-boom, ba-boom.
In
The
my
kick
opinion,
is pushed on both
Yeah.
beats.
Wow.
It's Mike's best record ever.
Yeah, it's
in my
really
opinion.
good.
Wait, can you? I want to break down what you're saying even further.
And that's just my
So,
interpretation of it.
so play the fill one more time if you don't mind.
And can you count us into the fill? So
Yeah.
we hear
Hell
where
no,
one
man.
is?
You guys got to figure this shit out.
yeah.
1, 2, 3.
See, both those are pushed.
Okay, and so say what you said one more time. I just want to wrap my head around it.
Especially sitting in the room with you and
Yeah.
feeling the drums. You feel that kick drum big on those.
Yeah,
those
They're the
push-
16th hit.
the second
Yeah.
2 kick drums,
And
not
then
the first
and then
one.
the feel and then
Right,
the
not the
feel
downbeat.
that comes in with the song don't
On the
very
downbeat.
down here.
Yes.
But you've been set up to be feeling shit pushed and funky.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and ironic. That's a very good point. And during the whole song, there are no 16th hits.
Right. But it's
You
like the context in which, from square one, you're listening.
Well,
You know what I mean?
and I decided to listen to Rod's intro, but come up with something that I despise, which are straight 16ths and triplets.
Right.
To get to me, so you go straight 16th to 1E into 2E into,
Right.
or they don't go together.
Right, sure.
Unless you're in some drum corps playing some weird shit.
Right.
And so I decided to go, let's go for it. Let's make it strange, because how else but to get their attention?
Yeah, the triple
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
top, yeah. Right.
So
But it's in a...
Yeah, right.
are you like,
Cool.
is any of that going through your head at the time, or you just like feel it and you play it?
I think I got hit by God on take 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I had what I do, remember, I've been playing drums for 62 years. Right. I started out as minus 22-year-old.
Yeah.
So if that kick, just to make this obvious, if that kick were on the downbeat, gung, get it gung, gung.
Yeah.
Hey, let's try that.
Dun.
It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Or even sillier.
It's so dumb.
Square.
But it's
Yeah. so
Right,
good.
and then at the end, again, it's the same analogy I use. You can drive an 18-wheeler through that hole.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a breath.
Yeah, both of these fills have
Yes.
a lot of space
And,
before
and
the.
there's another one
funky.
from Rufus and Chaka Khan on our first big record, which we had, Do You Love What You Feel, was Quincy had produced, called Master Jam. Billy Myers, great songwriter for Earth, Wind & Fire, wrote a song called Heaven Bound. I did the same damn thing. And I'm like, okay, well, let's get these boys in. So I go through 1, 2. Find Heaven Bound.
wow.
Or I know there's a lot of shit to go over, but
Yeah.
it's like 2. There's so much space getting into the next downbeat.
Yeah.
But there's no deniability of what that downbeat is.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not like,
Yeah.
it's definitely a,
Yeah.
you know where it is.
There are also these huge fills that work in the studio, but they'll also work in an arena, and
Yeah.
the nuance is in the design of them, and not like a tiny little, a nice little 16th note fiddle or whatever going in. They're big fills,
Well, Jeff, a very dear friend of mine, used to do things which I actually borrowed, where he would like 1, 2, wait.
Yeah, right. We love those.
You just drag his sticks.
Sure. And I love those on records, but
Yeah.
it's hard. You're not going to catch that
No,
necessarily
because
at an arena.
you're triggering A or B.
Right.
The engineer has you gated.
Exactly.
And
It's
I
not
always
gonna make
say,
it past
when
the
I do
gate.
live gigs, I go, use a gate, go to jail.
Yeah, I know.
Because
I'm
it
with
fucks
you.
the drummer up with dynamics.
So run us through the gear that you were using on this song. You started to tell us the 9-inch.
On Rock With You?
No, on Ain't Nobody.
Oh,
That.
God, that sucks. Oh, my God, that's so good. You go to Hawk's house. He
Yeah.
lives up on the Cumberland River. He's got this PGA golf room, like Tiger's room.
Okay.
And then right to the left of it is a whole wall with "Ain't Nobody" transcribed on chart, and you can stand in front of it and take a picture. Which
Nice.
I've done. Anyway, I had Yamaha, because I was a Yamaha artist, make me a 9-inch by 14 snare drum. I think it was birch, and the old adage of deep snares is not necessarily conducive to fatness.
Right.
You can take this snare drum, this old Ludwig, this is a 400 if I'm not mistaken, and make it really fat sounding, hence the old Steve Gadd days in the 70s.
By just tuning it down.
Tuning it down and dampening it.
Weighting
But
it,
don't flat, I mean, this thing can only go so far down.
Yeah.
But I decided to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And as you play it again, play the intro. And obviously I'm clapping on top of that.
Yeah. That sounds good too.
And how did you get? So to me, when I hear that, it also like it sounds like it sounds like it's opening a gate when the snare hits and there's a white noise burst. But it sounds like that's not what you guys did. How did you achieve that?
That engineer was Elliot Shiner,
Okay.
the absolute genius.
Okay.
He's a very famous guy.
And do you know how he got all that lovely top end?
Shit,
fuzzy,
we were
hissy-
at Warner Brothers in Amigo in Burbank. It was a terrible studio, but there was some authentic gear there. So I know we used a 57.
And there's probably a bottom snare mic too,
Yeah.
which was giving
And
you the
Probably
top.
used like a 52 or a 51, maybe.
I feel like there's a lot of bright reverbs
Yes.
on these records that are great, and like because
Totally.
gates are opening up into them and stuff, that just get this.
I don't know.
I wonder,
I'm not
you-
sure how Elliot mixed it because I
Right.
didn't watch the process, but I can tell you that it sounded like that when I was recording it.
Oh, it did.
Oh yeah, remember this is 82.
Like it sounded like that live in the room.
yeah,
Well,
and
can
the
we
room
listen
was
again?
this big. It was
Yeah.
this big.
Wait, let's listen again. This snare is it's so special.
Might not be reverb.
Oh, that top end hissy
Yeah.
tail is so
There's
nice.
definitely you can definitely
So it's
hit
kinda
the
loose.
10K on there.
It's
Yeah.
tuned down. The snares are kind of loose.
Well,
There's a top and bottom mic.
For that deep a snare, it was probably medium to medium low.
Okay.
Wasn't low.
And both, how do you, from a non-drummer's perspective, if I'm trying to get into how to tune a drum down, are you tuning bottom head and top head?
The bottom head should be crisp but not choking.
Okay.
No matter what your tuning is. It's
Okay. It should
different,
always be crisp.
different for toms.
Right.
But yes, it should be crisp but not choke.
Okay.
The top head, what I do is real quickly. I mean, that was probably an ambassador coated or an emperor coated in those days.
Yeah, like it sounds.
It
almost
could have been an
single-ply.
ambassador coated because the emperors were just brand new in those days. So I stretched the head. I put it on really high, so it's Stuart Copeland world, and then I'll make it come down and come down, come down, make it even until I feel you can feel it thud without it being too thuddy. Like for example, you are using these things.
Yeah. Which you're welcome to take off.
No, well, no, not on this one. Actually, I could make that work, but they didn't have these.
Yeah.
So, that would have altered the signal sound, making it louder.
Could you make this snare sound like that snare?
Yeah, I could. I would need some gaff tape, and you do have a.
There's a box of tape right behind you, sir.
Remember, this is.
That's good.
Wow. Sorry.
I like that.
Let me just see where you
Phineas,
are.
let's
you want to
tune it
grab
down.
the
In the
tape
life
from
of
that
this
box?
While you're doing that, Ryan, I'm stupid that I'm forgetting his name. Tony's engineer, Tony and Blake.
Will
there's
McClellan.
Joseph
No,
Lord
the
and Will McClellan.
the guy that we
Sean Everett.
Sean Everett.
Yeah, Sean Everett. He taught. What reminds me about what JR just said is like you wait until you feel the thud.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we were talking to Sean? And he was like, "I like the way those records move the speaker."
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he thinks it is like how it moves the speaker, and JR's like you feel the thud of the drum,
Yeah.
and that's when you know the drum is right.
Yeah.
Sean, I remember.
Well, for that song, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching Sean mix something like a long time ago, maybe like 12 years ago, and it was in his little room in downtown, and he would keep his knee on the sub speaker
Whoa.
to literally feel when it like moved a certain way.
Whoa.
Okay, for you youths,
Yeah,
we didn't use sub speakers.
right.
Yeah.
It was NS10s, baby.
Well,
Tannoys.
or we used Uris in the walls.
Whoa.
Bruce
right.
Wayne- you mean the
Bruce
mains?
Swedeen used to monitor so loud when we were doing off the wall that the electronics popped out of the wall like bang.
Man, I bet those sessions must have been. I think about that all the time when I hear records like that, where I'm like, golly, these sessions must have been so much fun to like hop back into the control room and just party.
All right,
Right.
I'm in the book. I'm doing an overdub for Off the Wall. I'm by myself, and we're at Alan Zent's, and I'm sweating. And I come in, and I was a basketball player. I played a lot. I was a star.
6'4".
And I always wanted to be a pro basketball player, but thank God I didn't. So I walk back in, and I'm like, Quincy, what do you guys think, Bruce? Oh, it's great. JR, I want you to meet somebody. And I go, this is Bill. And the way the studio was, it ramped up behind, so you couldn't see people in the back. Mm-hmm. And I look up, and it's fucking Bill Russell.
Whoa.
And I'm going, my eye like, oh, Bill. He goes, oh, man, you sound great, man. I go, oh. God, I would love to have played basketball with you. But
Was the monkey a thing in the studio
that
for?
was during bad. And we weren't allowed to go up and touch or talk to Bubbles. Bubbles would rip your fucking head off.
Yeah, I bet.
By the way, Bubbles is up there like smoking a fucking Cuban.
No.
Hey, Mike, I think that guitar sucks.
Yeah. Bubbles retract all the parts when you guys left.
Okay, so you're loosening the snare, you're detuning the top head, and you're tuning up the bottom head a little
I'm
bit.
just double checking it because God knows who last played this.
Wow, that was already closer.
It was.
Oh, don't sell me.
By the way, I am going to submit a fucking invoice.
Yeah.
As you should.
Oh,
as
man.
you should.
Ryan, you just got to keep it as is.
All right,
now.
there's
You get the-
two trains of thought here. One would be that. I never really liked that, but
Oh,
You're getting there.
God, I feel like I'm getting the G spot.
This whole episode is a ploy to get JR to tune my drums.
oh my God!
Hey,
Wow.
let's roll tape.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Holy fuck!
Now this part, I wanted to talk about this part 'cause
Right,
it's
so-
almost linear.
It is linear,
Yeah.
but it is linear.
Wow, that's so close.
but,
so
but
close.
I didn't play the hat after
didn't
I
separate.
overdubbed the hat, which is 1, 2, 3.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, up.
And then we go to the
Right.
chorus here.
4.
1. Here we chorus.
1. Yeah. So musical. Very cool.
So I go, oh shit, that's really cool. It's working great. And then
And you had to do the kick drum?
no, and then I go, oh fuck, can I play this at the same time?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So
Wait, what did you mean when you said linear, Kane?
Linear means you don't hit two drums at once, like Charlie Watts.
Oh.
It's a style of drumming.
yeah, even though there are backbeats now and then too. So, well, yeah, Charlie Watt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, if you listen to Paint It Black, which I believe may be
Yeah.
on the list, Paint It Black is. He's hitting drums at the same time.
So yeah, then you had to figure out if you could do
Let me
it.
have that tape again.
If you could
No,
do
you
it live.
rolled it.
Roll tape.
Roll tape.
So when did it dawn on you that shit? I got to play this part live now.
Right when we started getting ready to go on the road.
Sure. Fair.
And I'm going,
Can we hire a hi-hat player?
no.
So I've actually. Oh my God.
Can you walk us through like what
Hear that?
why are you putting tape there in that spot?
I'm just getting it away from my area of hit.
And why do you put some tape bunched in the middle and some tape straight across?
I'm bored.
So it doesn't matter.
No. Well, as long as, I mean, in the old days, they'd tape it like all the way around.
Right.
You know, because they didn't have those things.
What, they would just do a cross like in the middle?
And I don't know what the shape of this drum is. I mean,
That sounded good.
it's aluminum shell.
It's a circle.
So then when I
Wow.
finally
Okay.
figured out that I got to play it all together. Well, that works.
Right.
Even though it's hard because I'm playing the 16th note on the right foot
Right.
and the left hand.
Right.
So that hence is the drummer's exercise called Modern Steps to Syncopation by Ted Reed, where you have right and left stuff. I mean, this is not going to turn into a drum exercise, but hence it was basically Buddy Rich's world. So
You're left leading.
no, it's equal. It just happens to work out at its right, left, right, left. The 16th notes. If
What
you-
does left leading mean?
If you alternate and always start with your right hand. Now, if I'm going to play on 16th notes on the downbeat or 8th notes, now if I do the other way. So I just stopped playing the hi-hat.
Right.
Or if you're an idiot, you just go. But I decided to add some motion to it.
And so now play, show us
And
how
then the
you...
chorus went. Chorus. Sorry. And it's harder than shit to play that for 6 minutes.
Fuck yeah.
Wait, why is it so hard?
It's you have to be mentally perfect.
Is it because of the way you're sticking it?
It's
I don't
the
know if
bass
that's
drum
the
part.
correct terminology.
It's the bass drum part.
It's the bass drum part. Got it.
Yeah.
And so, how can we go back and talk about sounds for a sec? How would you get? Is it possible to get this bass drum to sound like the record as well?
Yeah.
How would you do that?
Can we listen to the bass drum
I
sound?
take that pillow out of here. I see why I'm over here now. No.
We're not recording any
JR,
of this.
what if you were to get these cymbals to sound? Let's listen to the kick sound.
Now, could you play something like this, but on this track that we have pre-recorded?
Hey,
Just as an
Pull up
example.
one of my songs. Let me see. How would you play?
How would someone like
Hey,
you
JR,
do
can you
it?
give us a
fucking
feel?
Lady Gaga. That's what they did when I did Stupid Love.
No.
We came into Westlake B, the same exact room I did Rock With You, exactly. And they called me in, and I didn't even have to hear the song, and I knew what they wanted. Right. They go, well, we want you because you did Rock With You here, and we're trying to recreate. And I go, you can't recreate anything. And I knew that it was going to be, it was four to the floor shit. Right. But I didn't even have the Gretsch drum set I used in those days, so it was kind of interesting. But yes. Can you play exactly like you did with Steve Winwood or David Lee Roth or? No, it's a different thing.
And you know what I've noticed lately these days is a lot of producers are so referential and will a lot of times grab a drum break or whatever and know that they probably can't get the rights to it, so they'll sooner go, okay, who played on this track? Are they alive? Can we get them to come down and play on this track, when they really just want to get the thing fucking that they've been stuck with since the demo, you know what I mean?
Right, beat the demo.
Because the session musician culture isn't like it used to be, and it wouldn't be like, oh, who'd be great on this track is blah blah blah, is JR or whatever. It's a weird top down thing now, which I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's kind of a cop out, honestly.
Well, I'm just glad I'm still kicking.
Well, I mean, it's great. It's great when people.
Called.
It's great when people like Lady Gaga can get to you. But
Yeah.
I'm talking more like your aspiring producers and stuff like that. And it's like, can you replace the sample? Can you copy it? As a drummer, I've been called in so many times to play the honey drippers thing. Hey, we're using the honey drippers thing. Can you just play it? Yeah. And I'm like, well, that's not fun.
Did you deal with that before you were JR? Did you have people saying like, "Hey, can you give us a Steve Gaddy kind of thing?"
Yeah,
like,
well, and the old adage to that was, who was the drummer from the 70s? I can't remember who it was.
Session guy?
Just a famous drummer. Like Cobham or something. I don't know, somebody. And so, I can't remember who it was. And they go, hey, can you play like Steve Gadd? And you go, well, here's his fucking number.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I've replaced Steve Gadd many times in the studio.
Sure.
And he, me.
Right.
And me, Vinny. And Vinny, me. And
because people want a different flavor or something.
Yeah. And then what Jeff and I used to do was, thank God, he was so open-armed. We would be cast on records together because we would blend, actually, for the record. And it was kind of cool to do. All right, Jeff's got 6 tunes, and I got 5 tunes, or I got 5 tunes, he's got 2 tunes, or so like that. So, but when you get called in for that,
did you actually say, "Here's his fucking number," or did you do your best?
I've done it, and I've seen it done.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good segue, actually. Part of when we were talking about what to talk about for this record was sort of the lead up into the JR era. And you sent me a bunch of songs that were your favorite songs or most influential songs from a drummer's perspective of each decade, the 60s, 70s, and then we've just talked about the 80s.
Right.
So now that we've talked about the 80s, let's go back, and I've picked one or two to go back and listen to.
And I could have listened. Like we could have done this for weeks.
I'm sure.
You know, a bus tour. We could have done it for 5 months.
Well,
I'm sure. So
do that.
I want to bring the old man out with you guys.
Yeah, let's
to
go.
give us the lead up to the 60s, we're about to talk about Crossroads by
Yes.
Cream.
Yes.
But I'm curious, who were your guys? We don't have to listen to them, but who were your guys on the 40s and the 50s leading up to the 60s?
Yeah, and like I said, my mother, Helen, used to. I'd just roll around and sit in front of her, and she'd play all these unbelievable big band records. So, you know, being from Creston, Iowa, I'm near Clarinda, which was, what's his name? Yeah, may have to edit this. Glenn Miller.
Yeah.
And Glenn was just from 16 miles from me. So there was he was a rock star, and even though it was big band. So, you know, we listened to String of Pearls, you know, so we listened to how it swung. But then I got to listen to big band records. Like, I didn't know who Zooty Singleton was. I didn't know who Gus Johnson was, these drummers, or Big Sid Catlett, or, you know, finally getting into, you know, Buddy was a child prodigy because his parents pimped him out on vaudeville. Right. You know, it was kind of sad.
So Buddy Rich was like your...
Buddy Rich, I think, was like you'd look up and he's... Who in the hell can play like that? Even Still, nobody can.
Yeah.
No, and the music isn't even conducive to it anymore. But and I became very good friends with Louis Bellson.
Mm-hmm.
But
So for drummers who are big fans of yours, these are great places to start, to go back
Sonny Payne.
and check out everyone that you just mentioned.
Check out Sonny Payne. He was fucking crazy, but he was unbelievable. And, you know, anything with Count Basie.
And as a kid, are you transcribing?
No, I wasn't good enough to transcribe.
But you're just enjoying and being inspired by.
Yeah, I ended up learning how to transcribe. I mean, I was a singer, and I made Allstate as a bass, as a basso profundo.
Nice,
So,
nice.
I mean, I was a good sight reader. But, you know, then coming out of the 40s and 50s, then the 50s had, you know, this mainstream angry black movement. There was a rebellion movement that had, you know, with mainstream bebop. And I became an incredibly huge addictive fan to bebop and mainstream, and I still am to this day, in Blue Note and how these cats were playing and it was like, why were they doing this? And there was such freedom and such space and
Did you play jazz?
I still do.
So that's where you came from?
Yeah,
is like
I was
you were,
jazz, and I played in the Iowa Big Band when I was 15 and 16.
Yeah. There are so many amazing jazz players who have trouble playing pocket stuff.
That's right.
Well, can you guys talk about why and how to avoid that?
I can say that in jazz terms, until you heard Dave Brubeck, you know, when the what's his name, the drummer was playing in Take 5.
Yeah.
It was bass drum oriented. So there's a bass drum, but in jazz, it's not bottom heavy. It's all top. You know, thought about it.
Yep.
So the bass drum is really not important, only for kicks.
Yeah.
So, and you mostly have an upright bass player. So, you know, like Ramsey Lewis and Herbie Hancock started changing things in the 70s. And Maurice White, actually, also the leader of Earth, Wind and Fire, was a jazz drummer. And turned into like making everything on the one and bigger bass drums and you know dance oriented. So when you hear a bass drum, it makes you want to move. So it's the opposite of Cuban music.
Yeah, right.
Where Cuban music has no gran casa. You know, it's just there's no bass drum, but you can still move to it. So.
Yeah.
So what were you saying about Dave Brubeck's drummer? He started putting
Joe Morello?
He started putting the emphasis on the kick.
They had a #1 record as a jazz group called Take 5.
Yeah.
And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Downbeats.
Wow, I never thought of that as being pivotal
downbeat.
for that reason.
It's totally and
You know what makes sense about that too is that is the most that is the jazz record that feels the most like pop the earliest.
Right.
You're like, oh, this is pop music now, but it's like
and I'm
pop
not sure
jazz.
what year that was, like 65, 4, because I remember the parents because they weren't hip.
Right.
Parents weren't hip.
Right.
Not in where I came from. They were just nice, you know. And you know, if they let me launch M80s in the backyard, that's fine. I used to do that. But you know, once they heard Take 5, and I saw it, it was on a 45.
Yeah.
So it became a crossover song that was different than Doris Day.
Yeah.
You know, in White World.
Wait, did parents dig that track or they
Yes,
didn't like it?
They dug it. And
Oh,
another
cool.
cat that was controversial in a good way was Stan Getz.
Totally.
And Stan Getz, because he had that the Brazilian hit, but he would also join Bill Evans, you know, and just some amazing shit. So Stan Getz had a very smooth sound, and I remember the Square kind of parents digging Stan Getz.
Yeah.
But Stan Getz was so hip.
Yeah.
So there were people that were sneaking through the cracks.
So, Jack, tell us about Crossroads. We're about to listen to Crossroads by Cream, which is JR's pick from the 60s.
And I used
one
to
of many.
sing it in my trio.
Nice.
So this is written and recorded as Crossroad Blues by Robert Johnson, 1937. The song springs from the essence of the Mississippi Delta blues tradition, a despairing, haunted lament. Unfortunately, he passed away the following year when he was only 27 years old. This was retooled and imagined by Cream in 1968. Crossroad Blues became Crossroads and became one of the best known songs and inspired a lot of follow-up cover versions. Here it is, Crossroads, Cream.
Okay, this next part is to me the greatest part in 60s and maybe all of rock and roll is right here. Listen to Eric.
Come on now, boys.
Can you play that groove?
Yeah, I mean, but he had that bass drum.
Yeah.
That's
that ginger thing.
It's this. I mean, he had two bass drums, but it wasn't like
It's like a quarter note upbeat stuff.
yeah, which was very hip.
Super- it
It
still
was
is
very
hip.
I mean, Seraphin kind of played a little bit like that.
Right.
Wait, can you show us the quarter note upbeats? Like, what are those?
That feel.
It's almost
On the kick.
So cool.
It's almost Doug Clifford from Fogerty.
Right.
You know.
Totally. It's such a good feel.
Don't loop that. Don't write a song around it. I get part writers.
And that's
right.
so nice to have the downbeat on the ride, so that
Yeah.
it's almost like your click track, so that your kick can push against it.
Plus,
It's so
I would
nice.
venture to say that any woman could dance to that.
Absolutely.
Or even if you went,
Right.
you know, it's so ignorant.
Are you laying back? Can you talk about the placement of like the kick and the hat together? That almost sounds like you're laying back the hat
And
like,
the snare.
and the snare.
You have to. If you have to lay this and that collectively back, or it sounds like that. So in my book, I always talk about King of the Groove because they're. And by the way, we'll do this real quick, and I know we'll plug it at the end. As of today, the audio book is uploaded. Which
Are
is,
you speaking
I
the
am.
audiobook?
It's so friggin' hard.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's so hard.
But I would love to listen to that. You have such a good speaking voice.
It's real. It's thank you. And then the new version 2 book has a different cover, and we had to fix some grammatical things like Grammys need an R around it for registration. Who knew? I didn't know that shit.
Grammatical.
Grammatical. But what were we talking about?
That how you were placing the hi-hat slightly behind the kick.
So the bass drum in my world is God, is Word. Wherever that is it.
That's one.
There's nothing, or one, or it could be one and.
Oh,
You're right.
not
But
that.
wherever it is, I'm the right one. Nobody's right. but
Right.
Me. So from that perspective, it's no ego. If I'm playing just a backbeat, I can make the backbeat square and play it exactly on the 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to have to cheat. But sounds awful. However, if it was a Cars tune, it works.
Yeah.
Because of the guitar part.
Yeah.
But to pull this back 2 to 7 milliseconds.
Yeah. What's that sound like?
All right, so how do you make that fit with this?
Yeah.
You have to, the 1 has to be with this. It can't be. I mean, it could be. I mean, I could take a D'Angelo beat, you know.
Yeah, like a Jay Dilla. Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, disruptive spinal injuries are not good.
Yeah.
So if you take eighth notes, if I would play this like a robot, now I'm going to play it like me.
Oh, ho, ho. Oh, that's so nice.
Same tempo.
So wait,
Wow.
so question about what you're actually doing there. You're syncing up the hi-hat and the kick right on the downbeat.
Wherever a downbeat would occur.
But then you're laying back the hat between those downbeats.
That's right. So those 6 other beats.
And is it exactly with the 2 to 7 millisecond behind snare, or
Let's hope so.
Is it kind of in between, or is
no? It has to be. It has to. If you take all those eight notes,
Yeah.
and drew it,
Right.
you could see where each one would be off slightly.
Yeah.
Okay,
And-
so
and
question.
except for the backbeat, which would be behind 2 to whatever milliseconds with the backbeat.
Yeah.
So is it basically downbeats and upbeats? Is it all the ands are kind of pushed a little bit backwards?
You have to do that to make the phrase be
Cohesive.
and what's the other word? Kind of the word I use, but cohesive is good, or kind of like a nice, not loopy, but like it's almost my soul.
Yes.
But I'm not the only guy that does this.
Yeah.
Because you find that famous drum. I mean, you listen to Ian Pace from Deep Purple, the old guys. I mean, he's just a brilliant guy doing this. You hear a lot of great jazz drummers that try to play straight eighth notes that
they're not straight.
They have no clue.
I know, but then it's interesting. I was just watching a clip. You know, I love James Gadsden. I love James Gadsden. And I was watching him do something. It was like kind of a later James Gadsden, and he was breaking down a drum beat or something for Ain't No Sunshine or something. He was like, yeah, you know, and it's straight 16ths on the hi-hat. And then he played straight 16th on the hi-hat.
Yeah.
And it was like,
Yeah.
like the funkiest thing you ever heard. And you're like, not straight 16ths at all. But he's playing straight.
thinks
He's
it-
like, oh, yeah, it's just
So-
straight 16th.
So it's like what you just said. Essentially, if it's like the downbeats are kind of on the grid, if you will, like they're the markers, and the upbeats are a back behind 7 milliseconds, whatever, 10 milliseconds. It's almost like, maybe this isn't how you think about it. I would think about that as like 2% swing.
Yeah, you could do that.
It's not like da 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 da, but it's like.
But
da,
that's
da, da, da,
consistent 2% swing.
Right.
So I mean, if I'm in Pro Tools and I just played keyboard part and then I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
That's consistent.
Right.
Oh.
So I mean, each one of those 8 notes are different.
Oh, they.
Well,
every
except
one of them-
for the downbeats.
Okay.
The 6 notes are different.
And can you tell us about how they're different? They're different amounts of pushed backwards, basically, and that's your soul.
I just blame it on the guitar player. Because the guitar players come up with some sort of really hip riff, maybe not aware of the rhythmical aspect of how that's changing the singer.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a drummer, you know, it's chicken or the egg, but I generally will follow, if it's a guitar player driven thing, I'll follow what he or she has done and then adjust and see if that works. And then there'll be times, like, you know, I play with the great Dean Parks, and there'll be times where he's playing a part and I'll go with him and then I'll realize that I shouldn't.
Right.
And
Yes.
Because the push and pull is what makes it cool.
This is
right. Hence. Are you going?
yeah, right.
Are you playing that, or are you playing that?
Right. This is
know?
where I think
That's rock and roll.
drums, especially drum set, and like the way we think about it today, or have been for the past 100 years, is a really special, unique instrument. Because to answer your question, in my opinion, and to go off what you're saying, where it's not, there isn't even the way things are displaced or swung, whatever. There's no it's
no
languid.
algorithm.
It's languid like
Yes.
a singer is languid. And we might come into a session and be super tuned in as band leaders to the players, but we're also listening to a vocalist, you know?
Yeah.
And drums are they're a lot like the other instruments, but they're also a lot like singers in that way. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, and yes, and I've been incredibly blessed to play with the world's greatest singers
Right.
of all time in my generation over the last
Right.
40 years.
Yeah.
I mean, Whitney, and I played on 7 of her singles.
Wow.
And, there's a story about Whitney in there.
Yeah.
But from when we first met her. But, when I'd be on the bus with Chaka, and, she didn't have any educational training.
Right.
But she would all of a sudden start, she goes, John, man. And she called me John. She'd never call me John. John, get over here.
Yeah.
And she'd go, listen. And she starts singing a Miles Davis riff.
Right.
Buddha, Buddha. And all of a sudden, damn. She didn't really know what she was doing, but she did.
She did, yeah.
Barbra Streisand was the same way.
Sure.
However, Barbara's blues intake is a little suspect, in my opinion. and
Shots fired.
She's my gal. And
J.R. Robinson slams Barbra Streisand's blues intake.
and you know what? I never signed the NDA. Had nothing about blues in it.
Right. Okay. Fair.
So you said something very interesting, which is like you played the robot beat, you played the version that was like gridded.
Yes.
Yes. And then you played what you called My Soul.
Yeah.
Is that soul constant across
Algorithmic.
all the records, or
That's
do you
the name of my next son.
Algorithmic soul.
Rick. What?
algorithmic soul?
Put the rhythm in algorithm.
Okay, I'm sorry. I interrupted your shit.
This motherfucker puts the rhythm in algorithm.
Man, listen, algorithm. Algorithm.
That was cool.
All right, I get writers. Okay, I interrupted you.
No. I was just gonna ask, like, is your soul consistent? If we were to listen to all the records, would we hear the way you place beats, and would that be consistent across your soul or your voice, or are you like adapting that and changing your actual soul to fit the record in the moment? No, you're not. You're like,
the soul is automatic.
okay, the soul.
You walk in puking because you were all night the last night before, and this is 40 years ago. And your soul's still the same.
Okay, so then can we hear one more time? Can we hear robot beat and then JR soul?
I have to do it with straight eights.
Yes.
I could probably do it. Let me try something different.
A hot-blooded chicken is he.
However, I'm making this quicker. By the way, I was asked to join Foreigner twice,
Good band.
and I turned it down both times.
Why was that?
Because A, I didn't like the money. B, I had a career outside of Foreigner.
Right.
In other words, I would have still been with Foreigner. All right,
Yeah.
Robot.
Now they're not even allowed in the country. The
What?
foreigners.
Is that because, oh,
No, different thing. Different thing.
God.
damn.
Sorry.
Or is like Greg Fillingham is like,
Yeah.
sorry, I have this so fat I can't make rim shots. Eighth notes, I'm going to use the shank of the stick.
Ooh, Shank.
Shank tip.
Tom Shanks.
Ryan?
So, see, that was too groovy.
Okay.
And notice I'm not doing any sort of whip or natural thing. I'm just being stiff.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is robot. Yeah.
This could work. I mean, you could play a hip eighth note guitar part with this.
Yeah.
All the velocities go from
Yeah.
being uniform
Plus,
to.
I'm doing that shank tip thing
Yeah.
instead of that. I don't know if I could do that. I don't think I could do that. I have to do it that way. I mean, it'd work, but it's kind of like without dragging, because you don't drag.
Okay, we're gonna go to our patron only segment here, but before we do, we have a question from one of our patrons. This is from one of our patrons, Eric. And Eric says, I love that chameleon kind of drummer career where you've played so many styles with so many, I'm sure, outstanding musicians. Do you have any bass players that stand out in your mind that you've clicked with right away, instinctively creating that in-the-pocket groove that bass and drums can get into, playing off each other's style and feel?
Let me see that book. Eric, I hope you buy my book or buy the new version. Let me find out where this is. Hold on. Because I'm going to read from the. I'm going to pull a Steve Lukather.
Ooh, I like this. A little
reading from the author.
Reading from the author.
Just as long as I don't drop trow and read.
Well,
She was. Never mind.
yeah. That's way more expensive.
Drop trout.
I don't know what that means. I'm not going to ask.
Actually, I have a website. Actually, I'm not even going to tell you that. Okay.
Jer has an OnlyFans where.
I should know where the hell this shit is in my book. Meanwhile, somebody say something while I do this.
Something.
Okay.
Jack, what's a song you've been listening to recently?
The song is called, or the band is called Yes and.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And, which
You played this for me.
Is that
Yeah.
like Dead and Co?
What's that?
Is that like the Dead and Co, where it's Yes and some
Right.
other and John Mayer?
It's
It's
like
good.
Roundabout meets.
No,
Yes cover band.
No. It's
Yeah.
not Yes and another band.
okay.
It's Yes/and, which I think is I think it comes from the improv. Like I'm
Right,
gonna
right.
say yes to the thing you said, and I'm gonna add something new.
Yeah.
It's like an improv technique.
And the song is called.
I don't know if that's what it's named after. The song is called Melt Away.
Okay, and we're going to listen to it right now.
Well, but JR needs to find the.
No, he's found it.
I got it.
You found it? Great. All right, we'll listen to it later.
Her hair was flowing in the night. Never mind.
That was the wrong
Wrong
book.
chapter.
Wrong book, JR. romance
what I've
novel.
done in my book is I've given props to bass players who, if it wasn't for bass players, I wouldn't have a career because I've so aligned with bass players throughout my whole career. So the answer for Eric is, yeah, of course I could say Bobby Watson or Abraham Laboriel Sr. I'm going to read these guys.
Yeah, okay.
And then you can look at it. And each one of these guys has touched me in some way that I've been able to alter or create or invent or be a part of a song and a groove. And then it just starts in alphabetical order. Abraham Laboriel Sr., Alex Al, Alfonso Johnson, Billy Sherwood, Bob Cool, Bobby Connors, Bobby Vega, Bobby Watson, Brian Bromberg, Brian Garofalo, Chuck Berghofer, Charlie Rosen, Chuck DeMonico, Chuck Simpson, Chuck Szabo, Dan Diamorales, Dan Lutz, Danny Morales, Dave Carpenter, God bless his soul, Freddie Washington, Gary Lund, Gunther Schuler, Hussein Jiffrey, Hutch Hutchison, Jack Dryden, Jason Sheff, which is Jerry Sheff's son from Elvis, Jeff Berlin, Jermaine Jackson, Jimmy Earl, Jimmy Haslip, Jimmy Johnson, Joe Shermay, John Lockwood, John Pena, John Lockwood, he got twice, John Patitucci, Kenny Wilde, Larry Antonino, Larry Graham. Keep going. Lee Sklar, Lewis Johnson, Mark Davis, Mark Kaiser, Marcus Miller, Mark Williamson, Mick Mahan, Mike Picaro, Mike Valerio, Nate Watts, Nathan East, Neil Stubenhouse. Yes, I locked a lot with Nate and Neil. Randy Jackson, Reggie Hamilton, Reggie McBride, Robert Pops Popwell, Sean Hurley, Stanley Clark, Steve Marston, Sting. Tim Bogert from Vanilla Fudge. When I first moved to town, we hung. Tim Landers, Tommy Piccioni, Tony Franklin, Tony Levin, Tony Seddon, Verdine White, Will Lee, and Willie Weeks.
I just have to point out.
And there are people on there that I haven't mentioned, but maybe I'd forgotten. But each one of those guys did something, Eric, with me. So it's important to align with your bass player.
I have to point out that whole list, not only incredible bass players, incredible musician names and parents out there, or soon-to-be parents. Think about this. We need some good musician names. Listen to that legacy of musician names.
Willie Weeks?
Those are good.
Wait, hey, listen.
Tony Levin.
Willie Weeks when we did David Lee Roth's Crazy from the Heat, he was our bass player. We hit it off unbelievable. And a lot of people don't even know Willie Weeks was in the Bay Area band Down Around the Corner.
Oh, yeah.
Before Michael got in the band.
Yeah, Michael McDonald, the Doobie Brothers.
Willie Weeks is in the Doobie Brothers.
No way.
Yeah, before.
Wow.
He was in Rufus in 1980.
No way.
When it was like not even Rufus.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, enough of that.
JR,
Yeah.
this was amazing.
Holy shit,
So
man.
incredible to hear the
Well,
stories.
and we will play. We will play.
Great.
Yes.
I would love that.
That
Thank
would
you
be
so much
a
for
dream.
doing this truthfully.
It's my honor.
You are
And
it's so easy for me to see why everybody wants you on their record
1000%.
because you're just a fountain of generosity and
Yes.
creativity and fun.
Yes.
You are so much fun to be around.
Geez, you should see the bus at 2 a.m. Boy, but hey, listen, thank you for having me on your guys' podcast.
Please go buy JR's book.
JR,
It's
show us the
out.
book one more time.
Show us the book one more time.
This is King of the Groove. Go to johnjrobinson.com,
We just scratched the
kingofthegroove.com,
surface.
Amazon, and now there's 3 versions. So good luck being confused.
We're going to keep talking to JR over on our Patreon. If you're not a member yet, you can join at patreon.com/scarypockets. We're going to chat with him about his influence from the 70s, Led Zeppelin.
Oof.
Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, comment, and follow.
And we will
Thank
see
you.
you over on Patreon.
Bye.
Oh, also, thanks to our special co-host, Kane Ritchotte.
Thanks, guys.
Wow, you got like a batosh.
Thank
Wait a
you.
minute. Kane Ritchotte.
Hey, thanks, fellas. I appreciate it.
Kane Ritchotte.
Thank our special co-host, Kane Ritchotte. Kane can be found at Kane Ritchotte at Instagram.com.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
See you guys at Patreon.